Greenblatt will stay in his role over the next few weeks until President Donald Trump unveils his peace plan, expected sometime after the Israeli elections on the 17th of September. Well, for the latest on this breaking news story, let's go straight to the U.S. Capitol. Our senior Washington correspondent, Dan Raviv, is there. Dan, a surprise announcement, Jason Greenblatt leaving the administration. What details can you give us about this latest twist?
Members of the so-called Kushner-Greenblatt peace team say this is all amicable. They say, in fact, it was planned for some time ago that Greenblatt intended to work for the government for 2 years. He'd been a lawyer, by the way, for the Trump Organization, for the president's company for many years. And so Greenblatt wanted to help. Frankly, he's pro-Israel, he's Jewish, but he wanted to help bring peace to Israelis and Palestinians. But it's been 2.5 years, and so, another a White House administration official is quoted as saying there's just so much time that a person can take a 90% pay cut. In other words, he's probably used to making a few $1 million as a lawyer in New York, so this was a sacrifice for him, but he didn't carry the ball to the finish line. In other words, well, we don't have peace between Israelis and Palestinians, but he does hope to still be around when the plan is unveiled. As you reported, Benita, there's a hope that that will be soon after the Israeli election, September 17th, but there's no promise of that, depending on coalition building and other factors that could be further delayed, according to White House officials. We do have a nice response from President Trump to the departure from the administration of his longtime lawyer. Trump wrote, "After almost 3 years in my administration, Jason Greenblatt will be leaving to pursue work in the private sector. Jason has been a loyal and great friend and fantastic lawyer." In part, what they're saying at the White House is that Greenblatt wrote the peace plan, the one that we haven't yet seen. As a lawyer, he drafted it. One other thing from the president, his dedication to Israel and to seeking peace between Israel and the Palestinians won't be forgotten. He will be missed. Thank you, Jason. But we understand Jared Kushner will continue with this project. Benita?
So, Dan, given the fact that he is leaving Jason Greenblatt after just 2.5 years, personally, despite the fact that this tweet says he was a great and loyal friend and a fantastic lawyer, isn't it a personal blow for the U.S. leader?
Whenever an administration official leaves the Trump administration, it means that if it's someone that the president really liked, it's a loss for him. If it's someone he didn't like in the first place, then he feels even better. But no, this is a loss really for the project, for the Israeli-Palestinian peace project. We understand that the way it's handled is being changed. Greenblatt hasn't yet left. It'll be at least a few more weeks. But there is a aide to Kushner, younger than Kushner. His name is Avi Berkowitz, who apparently will take up most of Jason Greenblatt's work, but also they brought Brian Hook into the project. Brian Hook has been the special envoy on Iranian matters, always speaking to the Sunni Gulf Arab countries about being against the Islamic Republic of Iran. It seems that the two projects, Israeli-Palestinian peace hopes and standing up against Iran and against terrorism in the Middle East, they're coming together into one big project. Benita?
And Dan, given the fact that there's been such a long wait for the deal of the century, what is going to happen now in terms of the release date? In your opinion, is this going to be a setback? Will the date be pushed back even further?
Not necessarily. Of course, we don't know what the date was going to be. Administration officials say they intended to publish their vision of peace, which would include what would happen with the Palestinians. Should they have their own state? What would the borders be? Where can Jews live in the West Bank? They intended to publish it after the April elections in Israel, to not get in the way of Israeli politics. But the April elections, of course, were inconclusive. Another round of elections scheduled for September 17th. Now we have a delay, but according to White House officials, the plan is ready. President Trump just has to say, yes, I have a feeling it's a good time to release the plan. One other thing the officials say, they're not expecting that Israel and the Palestinians will immediately start negotiating face-to-face. The Americans say that would be wonderful, but no, they're not thinking that their plan will immediately do that. They think they've succeeded in changing the conversation in the Middle East, and when they issue their plan, it will do more in that way. Benita?
Well, talking of changing the conversation, Dan, stay with us. We've got more to discuss. We're moving on now to you.